All right, if you've been on Instagram or TikTok, you've probably seen a handful of influencers who are letting you know that the real estate market is going to crash. In fact, I saw someone say you're going to see a bigger crash than you did in 2007, 8 during the Great Recession. Well, I'm here to tell you about the Boise market. I want to answer one simple question. Will the Boise market be subject to this massive crash that could wipe out 90% of real estate values? In fact, they said $1.5 million homes will be for sale for $300,000. So let's look at the numbers, let's look at the facts, and let's decide together whether or not the Boise market will crash. And I'm going to give you a little punchline here. The second you see the slideshow, you're going to know the answer. So sorry about that. Let's dive right into it. Here's 5 numbers that prove the Boise market will not crash. So the first one is there's just not enough homes on the market. We learned this in early days of economics that markets depend on supply and demand. If you have more buyers than there are sellers, you cannot have a value collapse. It just doesn't exist. Right now, we have 2.1 months of supply in the Boise market. A balanced market traditionally has 5 to 6 months of supply. And of course, if you're going to be in crash territory, you need to be well over 8 months supply. So we've got a long way to go. In fact, year over year, inventory is down. So it's not looking good for the doomsday crashers. All right, so let's look at where Boise actually buys. $400,000 to $800,000 represents 2 out of every 3 sales. So look at that, 4,450 home sales in Ada County last year in the last 12 months. 4,450 out of 6,665. And then if you go look at the inventory in that price range, it's anywhere from 1.3 to 2.4 months worth of supply. So the core is very, very undersupplied. And then, of course, we have sellers. What are they getting when they sell their home? Well, they're getting 99 cents on the dollar. It means the sold to ask price in the core markets, they're getting what they're asking essentially, right? Even though a lot of these people are asking more than what their home's actually worth, they're still getting strong values. So if you're in the 400 range, you're getting 99.5%. If you're in the 500 range, you're getting 99.2%. And of course, if you're in the 600 to 700 range, you're getting 99.2%. And oh, by the way, it's only taken about 38 days to get your home sold. So in a crash, sellers beg. In Boise, they get full price in 5 weeks. That's what's happening. So if it's crashing, like a lot of these influencers have been saying, we haven't seen it yet. All right, distressed sales. So I actually had the pleasure of selling real estate in 2008 through 2010. So I started in 2005. I've been selling real estate for over 21 years now. And I remember this. 30 to 50% of our home sales were distressed. That means they were a short sale. They were selling short of what they owed on their mortgage. They were a foreclosure, or they were a bank-owned piece of real estate. And I remember vividly, we had many, many months where 49% of our sales were distressed. Today, it's 1 out of every 250 homes. So that is not anywhere near where it was before. There's a lot of owners that are locked into low rates with record equity. And if you don't have any forced sellers, it's going to be really difficult to have a mechanism that causes a crash. All right, so the exodus states, you might have seen this. A lot of native Idaho homes, which I happen to be, maybe don't like this as much, but the reality is that Washington is driving people out of their state with their new capital gains tax. Oregon has been driving people out of their state with all sorts of policies, including statewide rent control. California happens to have the highest income tax in the entire United States. And then there's property tax battles in Colorado. That's driving people to Idaho, which has a low flat tax and top inbound migration state. It is the top inbound migration state. Every U-Haul is a buyer with out-of-state equity. So Boise doesn't need to create demand. Of course, the 4 states surrounding us are exporting their people our way. Love it or hate it, it's just the fact. What about the Micron effect? Did you guys realize that it was almost a year ago, Micron stock was around $90? It peaked over $1,200 just in the last week. It's bouncing all over the place, almost like a meme stock now, but you have a $1 trillion company right here in Boise. It's headquartered right here in Boise. It's 10x'd in 1 year. I don't know what's going to happen with the stock prices long term. I don't think anyone really does, but I mean, even if it bottomed out, it's still going to be significantly higher than it ever was. And we have thousands and thousands of local employees who hold stock. There's also thousands and thousands of residents who have bought Micron stock because it's a company they can see and touch and feel. And of course, they've done really, really well. So we have a brand new wave of millionaires here in the Valley. That's causing home prices to stay strong and hold steady. So where does that money go? Well, we had 1,175 homes sold, over $800,000 in the last 12 months. And you can see the list price versus what they got, 99% of ask from 800 to a million, 98.2% of ask from 1 million to 1.5 million, 97.4% of ask from 1.5 to 2 million. And if you're buying over 2 million, you're getting a great deal because you're getting 96.6% of the asking price. So here's the math, guys. 2.1 months of supply, 99.9% of asking price. There's less than 0.5% of distressed sales. 4 states are literally telling their people to move and get over to Idaho. And then, of course, Micron is 10x'd in the last year. Prices are up, but not much. I mean, if you look at a metric from 2017 to 2026, if you just follow the natural appreciation and you exclude like the crazy jump in 2020 and 2021, we are actually right on pace for where we should be in terms of pricing because prices have pretty much held steady for about 4 years. 2022 to 2026 right now, prices are almost identical. So that's 4 years of pretty much holding steady. We are not in crash territory. I don't see that anywhere near where we're going to be, barring some sort of unforeseen black swan event, which none of us could tell is coming. I don't see it happening. So if you're looking to buy in the Boise market, buy with confidence. If you're looking to sell in the Boise market, hire someone that knows what they're doing that can take great care of you. So to answer the question, will the Boise market crash, which I already answered in the first 30 seconds of the video? Absolutely not anytime soon. Buy with confidence. And if you need help buying or selling real estate in the future, reach out to your favorite City of Trees real estate agent. We are the #1 reviewed company in the whole state of Idaho on Google. Check us out and find out why that is the case. Thanks.